Hey guys, you may know me as Ophius, but this is the Carnivore's Zone. Now, I had a comment asking how to turn on debug mode, and honestly I didn't expect such a simple question, but I understand that there are resources that I had when I was a kid that are probably not easily accessible today. Maybe it was just a simple question that it was in place of a Google search. Either way, you will be able to find this on Google pretty easily, but I just thought I would make a quick little video tutorial just in case you find it easier to watch a video on. There are a couple ways to activate debug mode, and if you're wondering what debug mode is, I will explain in a bit, but it is pretty much the cheats of carnivores. I like to view it more as like the map testing or animal viewing, just map or mod making kind of, it's called debug mode. That means like you're trying to find all the bugs and delete them or whatever. So anyway, it is pretty colloquially known as cheat mode, but I like to view it more as just kind of a modding tool. Anyway, there are a couple different ways to do it depending on which version of the game you're using. There are so many different versions, variants, patches, releases of the game and different mods that I would in no way in this short format be able to tell you which one to use. So you're just going to have to experiment and figure out which one works in the version that you're trying to do. So the first one that ever existed, and probably the most widespread today with the advent of Modders Edition, is going to be you open up the game, and then on your keyboard you're going to want to type D-E-B-U-G-U-P. That spells debug up. I'm not really sure what the up means, but one can assume it might mean the flying or the jumping around that you do, but it spells debug up. There's no spaces in that. You just type those keys in that order, and it will make this little Windows activation noise, and then you'll be able to fly around freely, be invincible, have infinite ammo, stuff like that. And then the second way to do it is in a few of the patches. You will press this tilde key, this one right under escape right here. It's that little squiggly line. You will press that, and down in the bottom left corner of the game, it will open this little command prompt. It's pretty invisible. It will only be a pink or magenta version of this squiggly line. It will freeze the whole game. I think the skies might still move or something, but other than that, it'll be pretty obvious once you look down there or notice that nothing is going on. And then after that, you will type out the word enable. So that is E-N-A-B-L-E. And then you will press space. And then you will type D-E-B-U-G. Another space, and then you will type the number 1 with a return or an enter, and that should activate the same little Windows noise as the other one, and then you'll be able to fly around. So let us go into game and we will test it out. So I am using Modders Edition here. I'm just going to go into Delphius Hills, and I'm going to press D-E-B-U-G-U-P, and if you could hear that little Windows activation noise, it actually pulls out the binoculars with this method because you're pressing the binocular key. So I just like to pull out the weapon or just press B again to get rid of that. But yeah, as you can see, I'm walking around normally, but I am just walking. I have my sprint key binded to shift, so I can't even turn on run mode without going very fast. But yeah, pressing Ctrl will make you go very fast. And then if you press jump at the same time, minus space, it's usually space by default, you will go pretty flying into the air, which is pretty cool. As you might have been able to tell, if you're very unfamiliar with debug mode, it will make it so that at least the huntables, some of the ambients will still run away if you get too close. But if you come across a huntable animal, they will not react to you, which is very cool. It's very useful for video makers, or if you're animating animals, if you want to see them in action. It is very useful for that. Until you shoot them, that is, or shoot near them, they will then run away. But yeah, this is a very good tool for exploring your map if you're making a map. It's very cool for making creatures, or if you want to make guns or something, you can shoot them to your heart's desire, test out their fire animation. Unfortunately, they will never reload because of the infinite ammo factor. But yeah, that is pretty much all to say in regards to what it is. There are plenty of online tutorials for what to press in what combination to get some fun results. There are two that I'll go over here. There is one that is Shift L that will enable flying mode. So if you don't want to deal with gravity at all, you can just go up in the air. This is very good for video makers, or if you want to get some very pretty shots of your map, but that is that. And then as well, there is Shift M, which gets rid of all map objects. This will leave you with just the terrain, which I find very useful if you're trying to, look at the terrain without map objects. It's pretty cool. All that being said, I don't really like debug mode all that much. It has its uses, absolutely, but I think it also has its abuses. A lot of people I said it earlier, but unfortunately it's just something that I don't like to do. If you're trying to take beauty shots of your map and you're getting it from angles like this, it's just not realistic. It gives kind of this like false beauty to your map if you're getting it from a good angle like that, when you just cannot see that from the ground. It's not that big of a deal. But then the bigger deal, in my opinion, and in a lot of people that I've talked to's opinion, it just kind of ruins new mods, and if you're new to the games, it ruins the games. I think the temptation is way too strong to just type in cheats and fly around and find things that people actually intended for you to explore. I think it kind of, even in map testing, it kind of gives you a wrong impression of your map. It makes it a lot smaller than it really is, because you're just kind of flying around looking at everything instead of actually experiencing what you want people to experience by exploring the map. Something like that. And if you're doing that to somebody else's mod, then it's, in my opinion, it's just simply not fair to the amount of effort that they probably put into their little world, their little arena that they wanted people to explore and not just fly around in. I absolutely understand the temptation, but I would advise everybody to please not just cheat in new mods and actually explore what people have made. I think it's better for everybody's continued interest and entertainment in the games. But with that little rant aside, that is how we activate debug mode. Again, it has its uses, absolutely. I just kind of wanted to say some things that I think I've been thinking over the past few years and that I know a lot. But with that, I hope you learned something today. If you didn't, stay tuned for the next few videos. They should be going into more depth about some more advanced things. But either way, I will catch you in the next one.